everyone, STT here, also known as SkyNeo19. Hope y'all have had a good week so far. For anyone in the States, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, so hope everyone's having a real chill time based on that. With it being a holiday week, I have been very poor planning on things, if I'm being fully honest. Um, so I have not really mapped out what I'm doing today and tomorrow on stream. Tomorrow I actually will not be doing my evening stream. I may actually do a morning stream because it's Thanksgiving. I'll be having a meal with friends tomorrow evening. But I'll do something tomorrow morning for fun. I don't know. Still thinking about it. In the meantime, today I haven't had any major plans. So what's worked out is yesterday I got very, very close to finishing my Baltimore map in Subway Builder. So we're gonna start there, and before I actually start running through the game with y'all, I'm gonna show you where we are. So right now you can see here we're in downtown Baltimore, basically. I've got 3 lines going through my major downtown station. A fourth one would make it, except it's above ground and we kind of can't go through buildings that way. I mean, we could, but we have to demolish a bunch, and then downtown wouldn't be downtown. Um, I've got 3 other separate lines going north-south across the orange right near downtown here. So that should tell you kind of how some of the traversal is going. Um, if you've watched my blue sky, you might recognize the orange, tan, and purple. Those were ones that I actually attempted on my very first attempt at doing Baltimore, but I learned very early on that this loop purple line here, it's a very bad idea to start your game in Subway Builder with a loop line. Unless you have really mapped it out well. Because, I mean, the whole point of Subway Builder here is you want to be, connecting residents with their work locations. And if you want, these loop lines are great from a kind of holistic real world view. Um, if you've got kind of a spoke system that's bringing people in and out of the city, loop lines help you actually connect the spokes and get people moving around. If they're on separate spokes, if they're on one spoke and want to travel to another, a loop line helps them not have to go all the way into the center to make their connection. Um, but for like the cities and stuff here, at least on this game, you need to get people into the city first before these loop lines really make sense. So my first attempt at Baltimore failed completely. Instead, when I tried the second, I still kept the orange and the tan, and then I started building from there. I forget if it was the red or the yellow that I started with here on the third attempt, or second attempt, third line. There we go. But I know I built up the green line next, and again, it couldn't quite get to downtown, but this last station here is quite busy. And we've just kind of kept building from there. The yellow line in particular here in Baltimore now extends all the way from Towson down to and even past BWI. So it is actually one of I think it's the most ridden line that I have in this map. Yes, very much so. And then orange right after it. And tan, again, pretty close. It actually goes up into the northeast and a little bit, or northwest, a little southeast. Brings a lot of people in. You'll notice my map is looking kind of silly right now. You see some red extra, tan extra. There's a lot of what I'm calling my extension lines. You probably saw them over here. Tan extension, red extension, orange extension, white extension. Each one is a set of 6 stations that helps the catchment area just a little bit more. So yeah, orange is basically east to west. Green does a little bit of connection there. Green, orange, and black loop together up here. You actually can't see black very much because it actually is concurrent with silver and then concurrent with the tan extension for a while. But it is a well-ridden route if I remember correctly. It's okay. It's not as good as silver, which is a little surprising. Silver is essentially a loop line, not really, and I guess black is as well. But they just, again, it's Baltimore, so there's no loop to be had out east. Actually, let's let this start thing and go play. And for the most part, I've got the blue east and blue west. White gets some southern suburbs and helps connect to BWI. The only thing that really needs to be done now for Baltimore is connecting a bunch of these people down in the southwest. So the plan that and some of them with their work stuff as well. So the plan for what I'm doing is that blue and yellow are going to connect roughly here, and blue is going to go out to these workers. And again, also those residents as well. The orange is going to go out to these residents. There aren't really many workers to connect. There's some, but the orange will go out a few more times. And then silver. Silver's going to track through from where these residents are, again, down to roughly where yellow and blue meet. Now, actually balancing everything is going to be a little interesting to try to maximize which residents and which workers are really getting connected. And one thing that I'm not sure if I really showed off super well in my previous play of Subway Builder, but I've learned to really be better at here with Baltimore, is you can connect a line of lots of residents to a line, or an area of residents to an area of workers. But if those residents don't actually work in that work area, it's kind of pointless. So, like if we go to these workers here, this one's actually probably a bad point to select. But if I get the blue out here, I'm going to connect to these residents, and otherwise not a ton. You can maybe connect to some of these other residents on the silver when silver connects to blue and comes over. There's also Subway Builder has been completely updated, so I just clicked a single point there. I can actually now do a shift and area select to get multiple workers or multiple residents, and you can see where they are in the rest of the map. This, not a ton of workers out here, so you can't easily see where they are. They're actually mostly working alongside where they're living close to where they're working. There are some scattered elsewhere, but that's not going to help us a ton really connecting all of those. I think we get a little bit better if we look at these workers here. Hang on. So sometimes the game will actually give you those uh, rays to connect things, and sometimes it doesn't. Let me actually go back, see if we can do something a little bit better here. Let's look at these residents and see where they want to go. So now you can see all this. So these residents, some want to go into the city. The yellow line will hit all of these pretty well. Some of them want to go all the way up to Townsend again. Yellow will help. These look like blue will work. So as long as blue goes through here and a little bit of yellow, will serve this area pretty well. So what we really need to decide then is exactly how blue and yellow will connect as blue goes out, and make room for when silver comes down. So silver's, let me zoom in a bit here. Can we see the roads, please? There are the roads. Okay. So silver's going to try to hit these workers. There's not a lot of residents. I guess if we put silver station like right here, that could work. That's not great though. See, here's the problem when you're out in the suburbs. Everyone is all spread about. It's hard to get everything. I may make a like silver extension to try to connect some extra people in here. Because I think so actually, yeah, if we connect silver through these residents, is silver going to help these residents? Silver is actually not going to help these residents that much because they're kind of all over the place. It does take them down to yellow and bring them over, but like the person living here and wants to go here, that's not going to be super helpful. That's actually might be the silver extension that I do. If we look at the workers over here, where are you getting your people from? A lot just kind of from nearby, and some from this kind of northern catchment area with the blue. So people could get blue to silver and come down. I'm trying to think if it's better to hit these workers or hit these residents. Because I mean, I could go underground, like right here, and do a good enough job of hitting them both. You know what? Let's see. We can even maybe be above ground here. Let's try that. So we'll make one station. It has to be light metro. I learned every time you restart the game, it assumes you're using heavy metro. And that's not always true. We're going to put our station like right in the middle here. That should do. Give us enough turn radius to get out there. Let's double check I made that in the right spot. It's a little further south than I wanted. Alright, so let's move a little bit further up. So we'll undo that, and instead put it like right here. There we go. We'll want to connect that eventually, and you can see there's a lot of area. I probably want at least 2 stations between here, you know, 1 in here and 1 in here, but let's go back to what we were saying earlier and try to figure out how to get yellow and blue properly matched. Oh, there's one thing I should say about the update to the game is, so I used to have yellow and the white extension end here right at BWI. And in the previous version, which was a task. But I think now, if we look over, you are, yeah, you're still underground. Blue is above ground. So we have a little bit more freedom with where we're putting yellow. So you can see we're kind of in an industrial commercial area with no residents here. And then yellow's coming up a bit. I feel like, let's see here, what would be the best thing to do? So yeah, where are these workers actually coming from? So these are the workers we're trying to think about. Some are up silver, some are already taking the train down, which is nice. I guess a fair amount of them are coming down yellow. So if we have yellow matching these workers, that's fine. These residents, some of them are already taking the train a lot. Let's see. A couple of these guys would probably be helped by blue actively hitting them. That guy won't at all. You're already not, which is kind of interesting. Because I feel like you'd make a good blue up to orange and over. Especially you. So these residents, I'm not as perhaps to hit these residents. Look at, again, let's look at these residents. These residents more served by yellow than by blue. Oh. All right. So with all that said, we kind of want yellow and yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe move the blue up through here and have them meet over here, which would be weird, especially because, again, blue is above ground. Okay, we can maybe put blue right here. We'll put a blue station in here. We'll figure out how to connect those in a little bit. And I said we'll have, okay, they'll meet over here somehow. So this blue maybe coming up around here and snaking right into here, maybe? That seems like it might be a good spot. So we do have to continue it further. So here is, well, I'm going to move it across the road just in case we can do something a little bit smarter with the yellow line. So, all right, these are the blue stations we need to connect. We're going to put one more yellow, and yellow is deep underground, at least to start with. Right here-ish. Is it really worth putting an extra station here? Are these workers so far away? Okay, you're not even going to use the metro at all. You're not going to use the metro at all. You're probably not. You would be better served by blue, which, in theory, that Snowden River, not bad, but not great. And you also blue. Again, not bad, but not great. If I move this blue a little bit closer, maybe that would make more sense. Like you, what about you? You need a closer blue station somehow. I want to serve those two. You're just going to be served by silver. So if silver comes down somehow, you would actually be nice if silver meets here and the person walks over there. What else? You have some blue stations nearby. Again, these silver people might use it, and blue would use it if it comes up there. I do think moving this over makes more sense now. So Snowden River is being moved. Thankfully, these are all just blueprints at the moment, as opposed to being fully built. But we're going to... This one's still above ground. Putting it here now. Alright, and I think that'll probably do well to serve everybody. So how do I get there? I think just looping around here and up and over, and that'll go through. Yeah. You need to be underground. We're going to have... And here's the thing. I think what I might do here is have my yellow and silver lines just like both terminate at this station just from different directions. So let's build our yellow out first. We get over here, past those buildings, then we can come up above. Don't want to hit that building, sorry. That's actually quite bent. If I do this, oh, that goes right, and it's 65 miles per hour already right there. All right, so we can do better than that. We can do better than that. 90. Snake through there. 90. Awesome. Now let's dive. Keep it 90. Yes. And connect this, please. Much better. All right, so that is the last bit of the yellow line. Let's put our crossover in. Tracks. I wanted to do this on stream because we've got a lot of money. We've got just a little bit of area left. I figured we could do this all in one sitting. And I just realized my Twitch window is not showing at all. Let me refresh here. One moment. Are you showing? Yes, you're showing. Okay. Sometimes the online Twitch interface just doesn't like to play nice. And I don't know why. That is a lot of houses we're hitting. Please don't hit all those houses. There's our 90. Again, this is going to be a rude turn. And it's doing that because of course it is. Let's try this. Now you're gonna behave, but no, still not behaving nicely. Come on. Why? Why would you do such a thing? All right, we've got a 65 mile per hour turn there and a 76. So it'll be somewhere around 70 through there no matter what happens. This is going to be slower for sure. If we go here and over, this turn is not going to be fun. 65 kilometers per hour, we'll take it. Now, if we just let this be its thing, we're hitting a lot of buildings, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. Try to manually... Oh, we're still hitting that building at 72 kilometers. Let's extend... Again, 70 is roughly our goal around here, so there's a 72. Is that better? There's a 65. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, so there are those. We still need to fill in. So this needs to come either to here or to here. Which do we want better? I was saying I was imagining it working with You know what? Yeah, so we'll have this. It'll sneak around through these residents, I think, and then hit there. If we, oh, and that's perfect. We've got some green area we can use. And I think it's important, like, what was it, right here, I think it was. Obviously building through green area, you really have to do a smart job of preserving your green area. So I would hope whatever council is responsible for building all this stuff is being conscious. Oh, did I put that at the right level? It's at 5, right? Yeah. Well, elevation 6. That's interesting. But what we're gonna do is this is gonna have to dive now. I don't have a lot of room to dive with it, actually. Well, I can come here, come down. Well, no, because I need to get over here, don't I? If I snake around this way, I can dive in this green area. Okay, that works. Um, uh, can I get right through those houses there? I can. Right over the road. Awesome. Now let's quickly nip down to 0. Now we go down to -6 so that we can get under the road. And we don't want to hit this house. We'll have to slow down a bit to line up with the road here. But now we should be pretty home free as long as we're smart. Tracks, and that's 50. I don't like that. Undo. Do you snake well? You don't. Let's build you out a little bit more here. 86. 72, that's fine. I'll take it. You come up over here now. And actually, we're going to rebuild this station so that we have no sloping paths at all. So circle hunting, because I've learned while working through this game that if you have a sloping track, you cannot branch any other track off of that sloping track, which, you know, I get it. That'd be difficult to do in real life. Not impossible, mind you. Difficult. Oh, we are just threading the needle here. That we're going to need... Uh-oh. That's not good enough. Undo that. We're going to have a slow bit of track around here, I can tell. Ooh. All right, hang on. If we do this, that's a lot of houses to get out of the way. If we do the... Oh, hang on. Can we go right over this little court? Oh, I went a little too far. Let's zoom in and be a little bit more careful. I can do this. I can do it. 65. Oh, you know what? That's fine. I'll take that. So there's that. We need to pick one more station somewhere in here, which honestly, following the highway probably makes good sense. There's some workers there as well. There's actually not a lot of residents there. That is kind of right where we could maybe go a little bit further and capture some of these residents. We would miss out on those workers. If we want to hit in here, again, more green space. I'm actually now a little bit closer to that. So if we put the station right here-ish, that's closely about halfway between this and this, halfway between those two. Of course, these two are probably going to be too far to actually be hit at all, but I don't know what park this is. We're going to use it. Please, builders of this metro system, be smart about conserving green space. Because green space is important. All right, the best way to get through, I think, is just snaking right through up here. So you want to come like right here. Be very careful. Now that's going to be a tight turn. We may have to just take out a house here. We'll try to only take out one. Yep, there's one. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. It is... Ooh, that's an expensive house. Oof. Okay. So while we're here also, we need to start building the orange line out. I'm thinking maybe one station here and one station there. That actually works out pretty well with the workers as well. So we'll build, it was like right here-ish, and then one up here-ish, using the highway as a guide. Close. That could be a little bit closer in. Yeah. Actually, they both could be a little bit further east. All right. So we'll get rid of you and rebuild again, like right here now. Get rid of you. Build you more like right here-ish. Okay. So now, if we just connect these, yep, that works. And let's build this out here, and then connect these. Awesome. And you, okay, if we want to follow the green space, that's going to be a tight turn unless we go through a house again. It's going to be really tight. Can I get in there? I can get in here. I can't, okay, I can, if I slow down a heck of a lot, I can avoid bulldozing another house. So just right there, we're going slow. We've got 90, 58. We kind of have to do a wider berth here. And we don't want to hit any of these other buildings. Okay, if we can actually just kind of thread the needle right through here, that would be... Nope. Nope. Undo this. We go a little bit further in. And now we do something like this. That's nasty. It's 50 clones. Can I do better? Can I do better? So I want to get you kind of threaded through this way, because we can do this easily enough. $43. Can I thread the needle through here? I might be able to. So let's get rid of some of these tracks. Ooh, that was a lot that I just got rid of. All right, well, we're going to try to build here, and then build like here, and then try to get through these houses here. Follow this little street. Oh. Not quite, not quite. Do this. 72. Okay, okay, okay. I'm not confident on this. $58. Okay, so we're here now. It's not quite what we want up here, but we might be able to connect these. Now, there are two buildings right there in our way. If I got a little bit more angle on that, I think that might work. So if we delete this track, I think it branched off from like up here earlier. So if we branch this, 79, 86, this should work. Yes, 83. Oh, we did it. We did it. All right, so we've got 2 new stations on the orange line, 3 on the silver. Oh, we need to extend blue. And then we also need to make our silver line extension. So right now we're at a little bit over 1 billion. We're getting close to 2 billion in the bank. So let's get a last little bit of demand from the blue line. If we want to get the most residents possible, there are some workers like, so we want a station here. Yeah, like right here and then maybe up here or up over here. The question is, how do we get there? So we need to zoom in a bit. Oh. So the ideal thing would be to put a station horizontally, like right here or right here. But how to connect that to that going through this area will be tough above ground. Again, if we were underground, that'd be easy. Like we could also go over this way, up. I guess we could, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. So let's build a station. Again, we're at 5 meters. Let's do that. Connect the, all right, and that's okay for our workers here. We've got a fair amount of residents. Definitely good for the workers. And yeah, if we put one more station like right here, let's do it right now. Let's put our last blue station over here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So these should be easy to connect. Just follow the main road. It's a little slow. But you know what? We're out in the suburbs here. We can be a little slow. I'm sure the residents will appreciate not having too much train hullabaloo in their cozy little neighborhoods. You hope you can tell I say that with a slight bit of disdain. But we're good. We're good. Let's actually, I want to do one last check here. If we got like you have 22, 29, and 30 as your walks. You have 26 over here. I feel like we can maybe get away with one station. I like it in the middle to help this guy out, but again, if we're following the route, it would be down here, which is not super helpful. You would like a station like over here. So maybe put one there, but just a random station right here doesn't do much for anyone, except maybe some of these workers. So yeah, we will create a Silver Line extension route somewhere around here just to help connect a few more people. But we'll let the blue line just exist the way we kind of mapped it out already. Ooh, lots. Yeah, we're gonna have to slow down significantly around here. 58. 61. Netting through houses is tough. 65. But now that we're on the main road, oh, hang on. Avoid those houses. Thank you. And now we can do this. We can do, let's see, if we, okay, that's a big swing. Let's try to, I can't even read what that speed is. There's 83. All right, let's 86 that. Let's try to delete this. See what happens if we just try to connect these. So that should turn it outward. 54 is the speed we're getting on that. You know what? Again, fine. We're by residence areas. It's a little wonky, but I'm okay with it. The last thing to do, as we said, is to try to give a little bit more to our our residents that aren't super well served. So I think if we put one silver station here, connected to that, one here, connected to that, that's 4 of my stations. I can put 2 more out to the other side. Okay, but silver extension, we want this then as... This we can just swing out so we can make this uniform. Okay, so we're going to put one more silver station like down here, I think. And you. I'm just gonna swing out a bit like this. Now I can't, I could try to sneak it. Oh, wait, I can sneak it right across this road, right here. If I can do it properly. Like that. There we go. That should connect nicely. All right, so we've got one silver here. As I said, we want one extra station somewhere in the middle here. I think we will connect the most workers by like putting, or most residents by like putting it here-ish. Yeah. Okay. So we'll build this station just alongside this road. Now here I didn't fully plan this out. I didn't plan on that one being having tracks go off to the side. I could, in theory, make a station that does this and just bends really quickly right as it comes out of the station. Actually, yeah, that would work. Because the stations themselves are only like, what, 47 kilometers per hour? So having a quick bend off of either side of the station won't hurt us too much. Let's connect these. So if I'm building this over 54, ooh, 58. Is it better to go up and around? I think it's better to go up and around. I'm just going to do that. Snake right through those little buildings here. Can I actually... no, I can't. Alright, now we're going to do this. That's fine. And then we can do a wide turn. Just around these guys. This is probably not a 90. It's a 65. That's fine. That works. And you are now going to come out around this way. We want you to go sharp curve. 47, sure. Can we get us back to a 90-ish? 72. That's fine. As we said, we are just... Oop, not quite, not quite. There we go. Now if we connect... oh, you are having a 61, okay. Again, we slow down as we get through the neighborhood. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 2 more we can build for our silver extension here. So here's the one thing, when I'm making this silver extension, the question is, do I actually connect it to an existing station? Like only use one inclusion? And the way we answer that is, let's look at these residents. If I were to put a station right here, where do these residents want to go? Not many are coming back down this way. Some are. A lot just want to go into the city. So here's someone who would want to hit tan. Tan would work for this person. Yellow or red. Tan or orange. Green or tan. Red or yellow. So these people want to eventually connect up to the tan line, which is not easy based on what I've set up here. So alright, we are going to put one station in this area, and based on the housing here, I think we need to... Oof, there's no good option. I was about to say, I think we need to go underground. So if I get this curving out this way, somehow, and then just diving underground. Like, I can do a really nasty something around here, I think. If we can get them underground, again, serving this population, I could take them over to the West Interchange again. That might be the best. Yeah, I think that'll be the best option. So the first order of business is to take this station and really make it ready to go underground. So let's get across the highway here. Just barely. Yep. Oh, shit, we're at 10. Have we been at 10? Oh, the whole thing I've built here. I wanted this all to be at 5. It might all be at 10. All right, we've now got errored out there. Actually, so this little curve here, because it is short and curving, actually makes sense to have that as 10. But while we're on a bit of a straightaway, we lower to 5. Actually, I'm going to do that. It's okay for us to curve as much as we can here. Okay, hang on. 79. 54. There we go. Now we dive to 0. Dive to 6. Alright, now that we're at 6, we can dive to 12 easily enough. Where are we putting our thing here? We were putting it like right in the center around here. Right there at that intersection, right there. Build stations. 12. Honestly, if we go right along the road, it could be 6, but we would still hit those houses. So we are going to call the station here at 12. Now, yeah, is that the right spot? That's pretty good, I think. Now, if we do this, 22-minute to the vineyard. Yeah. All right, so then build tracks. On, you know what? I can keep this at 6 for quite a ways now that I look at it, based on where I put that station. We are slow and careful now. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Actually, before I do this, let me... Because that's a straightforward way out. We need to get under these houses, though. We want to stay at 90 as much as we can. Do that. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous-ish. And we can't actually stay, we can't come up to 6 because that's in our way. So we go back down to 12. And we're aiming for West Interchange. Let's get past these houses. Aiming for West Interchange. Actually, we should probably stay at 12 all the way up to West Interchange here. One more station. Now got the hex pattern going here. Alright, and this is easy because we just now connect this with that. Station too long by about 300 meters. Lovely. Alright, so we'll do this, because that was about what we needed. Now we connect them. And now, all of that said and done, I just passed over the insufficient fund barrier, which is fine. We will make it up pretty quickly. Last time I was playing the game, I actually increased the frequency for every route at every time, which is not something I do often, but all right, and this is where we were going to put the end of the silver and beginning. Oh, we already have an exchange point there for yellow. All right, that's good. Was there anyone else I needed to? Yes, up here. All right, so those are our crossovers. So, all right, so here's what we've got looking at now. We've got a $2.25 billion expansion to fund. Orange is going out to, it ends here at the moment, and it's going out 2 more stations out here. Silver is coming all the way down to meet with yellow right where it crosses over blue. And we've got the silver silver crossing line that will be its own thing, but it will help a lot. And for getting these people into the city, because having to swing out on blue or particularly yellow might be a little bit tough unless they really love yellow, which a lot of people love yellow. It is the most ridden line in my system for a reason. Um, but yeah, once we do that, we'll also buy some extra trains and have Baltimore done, I think. Which again, this is why I wanted to start the stream here because we're close. We don't have quite enough money right now, but I knew the extension would probably work out pretty well. All right, let's rename our West interchange here. I can spell, and my cat is meowing at me. Yes, baby. She loves getting little head scritches while I'm sitting at my desk here. If I lean over too far and like try to pet her too much, though, she runs away. She only wants just enough pets. All right, while we're waiting for the money to flow, because again, we need 2.25, I am going to quickly pop over and look at actual Google Maps so that I can name some of these stations in a nice way. So like if we go up here, so let's see, we've got a couple interchanges and then this station. That seems like, what would that be? So we're a little bit on the west side of Ellicott City. Did I already name a station Ellicott City? I think I did. Ellicott North. Okay. So we'll call this one Ellicott West. Because we can. And then a little bit further out, I don't know if I want to name that one. That one, maybe we'll call it Font Hill. Sure. We're calling that one Font Hill. Because we're not all the way out to Albeth Heights yet, I don't think. I don't think our map... Okay, so yeah, this is where Albeth Heights would be. So yeah, this... It's a little west to be called Font Hill. Not Fontville. We're calling it Font Hill. But we'll do it like that. Alright, so let's look at some of these other exchanges that we've now built. Other stations, I should say. I'm going to go over, and we see Dorsey's Search, Dalton, and Thunder Hill. And Centennial Park. Oh, I gotta name one of these stations after Centennial Park. And one will be Dorsey's Search. So this is Centennial Park, which I actually don't have a station particularly close to it. This is the closest one we've got. We're going to call this one Centennial Park. I mean, it looks like we might be on the golf course with the south side of it. Yep, that's a golf course. And then we've got some of the things over there. That park, this one above that station. So we've got, is that Dalton? No, it's not. That's Meadowbrook Park, and what is this other area? We're gonna just call it Meadowbrook. It's a little, yeah. We'll call it Meadowbrook. Why not? There's no capitalization in there. We're almost to our money goal here. All right, so we've got Meadowbrook, we've got Centennial Park. What is this conglomeration over here? That's the next question. So we've got Centennial Park has 1, 2, 3 clover leaves that we can look at. Compare that to our map. 1, 2, 3. Nope, 1, 2, 3. Oh, is that Howard Community College? I think that's Howard. No, that is not. That is a... Howard Community College is just to the west. This is Town Center. It's just called Town Center, even though it is very much not in the center. So one of these is actually going to be more the Howard Community College. But this is Town Center, even though, whatever. so Howard Community College is kind of by the curve of that road. That's like right here. You know what? We're going to call these two stations both Howard Community College, just north and south. Let's actually copy that so we're ready. Sure. And then our big exchange point over here, Looking Glass Lane, whatever, that's a weird little name. We are at our uh, monetary level now. Where is that? Hang on a minute. That's not that. Whoa, what interchanges are those? Oh, there's that Lake Elkhorn. All right, we are just north of Lake Elkhorn. Oh yeah, so that's not quite the one I'm thinking of. Oh, here's that other lake that's not Texas Roadhouse. That's the interchange there and there. Okay. So we're north of Lake Elkhorn and East Texas Roadhouse. What is this? It's a Head Start school. Owen. I'm seeing a lot of things named Owen Brown over here, so we're gonna call that station not Looking Glass Lane. This is Owen Brown. We'll rename maybe some more a little bit, but this is what I think would be good for now. And I'm glad we waited a little bit to get the extra money because that means we'll have plenty to buy trains. All right, we're building. All right, so first, let's extend yellow. Edit route. You are going to here. Yep, and let's do that. Just one more station for yellow. So I don't think we'll have to change any of this up too much. All right, we need blue west now. Blue west is getting a big extension here. Business Parkway, Snowden River Parkway, Owen Brown. Let's see. I wanted blue to come up, didn't I? So we're gonna put blue, so it's a proper kind of cross. Overlays. Sorry, we're gonna want to increase blue's trains, I think. 15-minute, yeah. Let's get you one more. 13 minutes. Sure, that's fine. I think. Next up, silver. We are editing this route. So silver, as I said, we're at Ellicott North. Comes down to here. Spring Meadow. Oh, you're covered up. Can we get... Ooh, we got it. There's Meadowbrook. There is... Oh, that's probably... We didn't rename that one. And then here's Owen Brown. And we come back. Cool. Now silver, we're going to want to put some more cars on, I think. 40, yeah, so not 49, 37, that's pretty good. 29, 24. We're gonna need 1, 2, 3. Let's actually get 3 more for silver. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I've left silver a little underserved, so apologies to all the Baltimore friends living around this silver line, just because I felt that the black line, originally I had black 1 and black 2, kind of crisscrossing a bit. When I extended black to actually come over here, I swapped, some of the lines for black and silver and kind of depreciated what silver was doing. So this is now corrected. Silver should be much better served. Orange, we want to edit for a couple more stations. Yeah, Ellicott. Out to Font Hill. I don't think that's going to need a ton of change here. Yeah, you're already getting really good service. I think you'll be fine. The last thing to do is now add the silver crossing, or silver extension. Silver extension line comes up this way. Oh, geez. All right. I think this is that. Come back down. All right. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About a 17-minute run. Now, normally for these extensions, I previously had like a 1, 1, 2 before I did my service upgrade. So this now has to be a 2, 2, 3, which means we need 6 trains here. That should do there. And again, all these extensions, they run shorter trains. So yeah, if we get, except for which one of the extensions didn't. I think it was the white extension at BWI. Yeah, that's got longer trains. Just because there were so many people living over here that use BWI or come from blue, it just made sense to make it longer. But yeah, so now that line is built. We are at day 225, and evening of day 225. So we'll have a full day at the end of day 226. One train moves its blockage for G. Oh, good lord, what happened over here? Hello, hello. Okay, that got it sorted out. I've never seen a blockage over there before. That's so weird. All right, well. But yes, that now is my complete version of a Baltimore metro system. We'll let this game run for just a little bit more here so that we can get a full day's worth of data in. It was actually really funny. Like the day after I started my Baltimore attempt, I saw something on Blue Sky where the mayor of Baltimore himself went on someone else's stream to play Subway Builder. I have not looked at that video yet. I did not want it to affect what I built. I am very curious, though, as to how the mayor of Baltimore himself wanted to connect people, because I'm sure he knows the city way better than I do. So I would love to see what he did with that. I may link that over on my Blue Sky after this. I'm just, fascinated because, all our public servants are usually, I shouldn't say all, many public servants are there because they really do want to do good for the people they're serving. Especially, I think, a lot of city mayors. I feel like that's a fairly thankless job compared to, like, governorships or, anyone who serves at the federal level. But yeah, that is that. Again, we want to let this run to the end of day 226, maybe to the beginning of day 227. Let's actually, we're already back up to 100 mil. And we'll get there even quicker because we are generally making about 200 mil per day. We're losing money a bit at nighttime, and that is a noticeable change that happened when I fully increased my service. So again, a lot of the lines that were only getting 1 train in the evenings, the late hours, now had 2. And some of the other things that still only had, 2 or 3 now have 3 or 4. That's a noticeable increase in service during those hours. But if we look, so yeah, here's where you can see where the heightened service kicked in. I went from 473 to 489, so I increased 16 million in revenue. My train expenses went from 215 to 277. So I cut into my own revenue there, but hey, I want to serve the city. I actually have kept this fair price at $3 the entire game. I think if you saw my Washington D.C. play, I had increased it to $4. I'd increased it to like $3.25, then $3.50, and then $4. But once I hit $4, I was done, and I uh, never increased the fare again after that. But yeah, I'm still, printing over 200 million a day from this system. We can probably decrease the fare, honestly. You know what? Heck, let's do it. 250. We'll lose money from some of the revenue, but we might get more people using the system. Which means now I have to let it run another full day before I can really see the full effects. But that'll be for finance stuff. For ridership, we can dive in relatively soon once we get into the later evenings of 226. I'm really curious to see how many people are using the silver extension. The extensions are always the interesting things for me. Because, like, are they really worth it? The orange extension here, turns out, has not been super worth it. This single station serves a good amount of people, nearly 6,000 daily riders, which is relatively good for something that's that far out from the city center. That also isn't a confluence of multiple lines. Okay, we are now down about 8 p.m. We've done a full day, full 24 hours at least. And yeah, Silver Extension, it's getting some good ridership. And it's certainly made the West Exchange an important point. You can see, again, this little orange extension, not really seeing much use. The purple, again, even having made the purple loop, it's not getting rid of it. The big thing that helped purple was helping deal with crowding up here. This is, I think, what to say, this is Martin Luther? Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Uh-oh. Transit color coordinator revealed it's colorblind. You get really silly, just completely pointless news articles popping out from this game. It's fun to read. Oh, I got rid of all the ridership stuff. But yeah, the biggest stations are obviously right in the middle of downtown. Even this green station, the terminus, it's not actually connected to anything. A lot of people use it to get into downtown. The airport, though, is the most ridden station in the system, which honestly surprises me a little. That the fact that it is outclassing everything downtown. Although, again, to be fair, these three stations almost function as one. So if we did that, but having them split, I think, was worth it. I think having them split was very much worth it. But it's so I've got 158 stations in my Baltimore metro system. Again, I'm not sure if all these purple stations are worth it, but whatever. You live and you learn. So yeah, downtown, BWI, Lexington Market, Towson up by again, Towson University. This is actually where the university itself is. This is a little more center. I think it's kind of right here. But it makes sense that that's one of the biggest draws. Again, the fact that Towson, downtown, and BWI are all on a straight line. Honestly, I'm thinking that might have been a better way to start the Baltimore system, because, man, I relied on orange and tan a lot. I think I started with a little bit of yellow, and then I built the red in later, the green in later. But I'm curious if you start with just one line that either goes from BWI to downtown or Towson to downtown, if that would be a faster start on this Baltimore system. Let's see, West Edmondson over here, pretty good exchange point. West Interchange is now quite popular. We're getting good contribution from the silver extension. That's nice to see. I like it. Martin Luther King, as I said, that used to be incredibly busy, and purple is helping with that. Yep, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Lansdowne. Where's Lansdowne? Oh, that's Lansdowne. Again, connecting some of other people with the yellow line. It's incredible. And then other stuff starts piling up. Are there any really poor stations? And we know the few on the purple line. Actually, yeah, there is only one that's less than 1,000. And there aren't a lot that are significantly less than 2,000. Again, a couple of these extensions, as we mentioned, the purple. But yeah, that is a pretty good system in my book. And we are now at the evening of day 227. Let's see what my fair exchange lowering did. Last 14 days. So, okay, it just completely, yeah, it dug into, which is fine. I'm still making a good profit. The day's not even over, and we're at 150 million on profit. So that's all pretty darn good in my book. But yeah, that is Baltimore Subway Builder. I don't know what city I will take on next, but it should be fun. Yeah, that's I will let you guys know what I start working on next. Because I cannot stop playing this game. Well, I cannot stop coming back to this game. I actually have weaned off a bit. Because again, you see, I'm at not even at day 230 yet. I did 300 days for Washington, D.C., and I did that in less elapsed time, real life, than I did here for Baltimore. But yes, I will be back to this game. I don't know if I'll stream it again. I'm not sure how great this is a game to stream, but I just wanted to show off the last bit of Baltimore here. I thought it would be half an hour. It turned out to be an hour because apparently I can't shut up. But we will hit the brakes here. I will save. They do have also with the update. You'll love this new autosave feature that everything looks a lot. It's busier than it was before, but it's a heck of a lot smoother to look at. So I had 16 routes earlier. Wait, when did I add 18? I know I added the silver extension. What else did I add? What the heck? Yeah, I don't know. And it just says 17. I don't know why this says 18. I don't know when I had 18 routes. 195 stations, nice hefty balance, and a complete system. That's pretty good. So we will stop for Subway Builder now and figure out what I'm playing next. Because as I mentioned at the top of the stream, I don't have a plan for tonight.